Top 10 reasons why English royals are the worst political leaders conceivable. English royals have the most notorious reputation for ruthlessness and mass murder. In fact, at a conservative estimate, the British Empire has killed over 100 million people during its existence, most of which are of African ancestry. The British royals have instituted genocide in Tasmania, in Canada, in Jamaica and even in Kenya. They have stolen great treasures like the Star of Africa, and they have always denied us a basic apology for hundreds of years of slavery. So, without further ado, here are the top 10 reasons why English royals are the worst political leaders conceivable. Number 1. They are unelected. As with all royals, the British monarch is never elected. Therefore, the people of England and the Commonwealth never get the democratic freedom to elect their head of state and is deprived of a political voice. In the 21st century, where America and England invaded Iraq in order to install a democracy, it's unthinkable that England should be allowed to have a hereditary monarch who is unelected and is unaccountable to the people. There is no place on earth more urgently needing of a democracy than in England, because the population is very politically conscious and well aware of their rights as citizens in the 21st century. If you think that I'm exaggerating, then remember that to this day, England doesn't have a constitution. This is because its citizens should not be made aware of the fact that they have feudal rights and are subjects to an unelected family that recycles power from one generation to another. Jamaicans refuse to be a subject to a monarch, and we will not depart with our inalienable rights in order to facilitate a king. Number 2. They condone pedophilia. The royal family of England has been accused of condoning pedophilia on multiple occasions. In fact, this behavior stretches across multiple generations from Lord Louis Mountbatten, the uncle to Queen Elizabeth II, to Prince Andrew, her very own son. The current king, whose brother is a known pedophile, is even accused of protecting his friend, Peter Ball, from prosecution for pedophilia. What I'm trying to emphasize is their tolerance of the practice and the lack of condemnation from the royal family towards those members accused of pedophilia. A perfect example would be how Prince Andrew is being protected from prosecution in the United States for charges related to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and his sexual encounter with an underage Virginia Giuffre. It is important to note that the royal family has connections to many pedophiles other than Jeffrey Epstein.
From Jimmy Savile to Cyril Smith, the royal family seems to be comfortable befriending pedophiles, and that should trouble any decent, law-abiding individual and just parents. We, the people of Jamaica, condemn the exploitation of children, like that which was documented to happen at the Concora Boys' Home in Ireland. Believe it or not, the Concora Boys' Home scandal actually implicated Lord Louis Mountbatten and others close to the British royal family.
Number 3. Inbreeding and diminished genetic capacity. It is an open secret that the British royal family engages in incestuous relationships and has done so for centuries. Any genetics expert can tell you that inbreeding should not be practiced because it significantly increases the probability of deformities appearing in the offspring. What many people fail to appreciate is that after centuries of practicing inbreeding, the members of the British royal family have a very small gene pool and very limited genetic diversity. This has diminished their ability to operate on the cognitive standard that most of us operate on, and to that ends, they have become genetically inferior to the general population. This probably explains why many royals over the century have been diagnosed as being mentally unstable. From King George V, who experienced psychosis to the point not being able to perform his royal duties, to Catherine and Nerissa Bowes-Lyon, who were both sent to the same mental asylum on the same day, the royal family has a long list of mentally unstable characters which would need a whole other video to go through. It is a topic that you can research on your own time. A family that practices inbreeding is unfit to serve in the position of head of state of Jamaica. Number 4. Their racism and their antiquated worldview. The conduct of the royal family today implies that they still hold racist views about racial minorities, most notably against black people. It's no secret that the British royal family has a long history of racism and even engaged in the practice of slavery for hundreds of years. Since the royal family refuses to apologize for slavery and refuses to pay reparations to the descendants of the enslaved, when they had no problem paying the descendants of the slave masters up until 2015, it is fair to conclude that their morality towards dark-skinned people haven't changed. The British royal family is completely out of touch with the political needs of the 21st century and think that they are somewhat entitled to reign over other human beings because of their ill-gotten royal legacy that descends from a long line of racist, homicidal tyrants who considered themselves to be superior to the average person. This old-fashioned or antiquated worldview is unbecoming of anyone seeking to represent a nation politically in this globalized and technical era of human history. The unsubstantiated idea that Prince William should inherit King Charles's position without the people having a say as to who should be England's head of state, is indicative of the royal family's old-fashioned understanding of the modern political needs of the people of Britain and the wider Commonwealth.